IELTS Premium. Make dreams reality.
Salom azizlar. Biz bugun o'z podkastlarimizni suratga olishni boshladik. İlk podkastimizning epizodi Pro Tips rubrikasi hisoblanadi va bu podkastimizga biz shahrimizdagi eng yuqori ball sohiblaridan biri Mr.Jamshidni taklif qildik va bu mutaxassisimiz sizlar bilan o'z maslahatlarini bo'lishadi. Agar siz videoni ko'rishni xohlasangiz, unda kanalimizda qoling. What is saying? What is the best strategy to actually
that try to listen as much as you can and try to listen to something that you like.
What would be your advice?
For writing?
Yes.
Okay, so first advice is just, try to read.
And what is next for you?
For me next,
In our podcast today, we have a guest. So let me introduce my guest. So today I've got a guest who is an 8 band holder from IELTS and who is a kind of part of my team and our learning center. So Mr. Jamshid, and he will share very valuable tips about how to get a higher score in this standardized test. Okay, so Mr. Jamshid, before we start, can you please introduce yourself and give me a little bit background information about yourself?
Okay, so I'm an English teacher. I teach mostly IELTS. And so I've taken IELTS 4 times so far. And my last 2 attempts were 2 8s. And then, I have been teaching English for around 2 years.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Now, as we have very limited time, so we will focus on exact questions. Okay, let's talk about pro tips. So in this episode, we're going to give 3 very essential tips that are very important for candidates who would like to take the IELTS test. Okay, my first tip will be about maybe listening part of the test. Okay, what is saying? What is the best strategy to actually up your game or up someone's game in the IELTS listening?
So I would say that there are a lot of good techniques to improve your listening, and it's up to a person, because some people may improve their listening by podcasts, by different types of videos. Some people can improve their listening by watching movies. So I would say that it's up to person's character, what you like. For example, you can watch a lot of videos on YouTube and just become a good English user, become a good listener. So my tip is that try to listen as much as you can and try to listen to something that you like. Then it really improves your listening. And then to level up on listening, you need to listen to some podcasts, especially specialized for IELTS listening testers before your test. It will help you how they tell the answer, how they try to trick you, how they try to react, and it will be very useful if students start to listen to that podcast before their listening test.
Yeah. As you mentioned, that listening is kind of receptive skill, which requires a lot of input to be put into this process, because you get information, and after processing, you should actually should be able to comprehend the information. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go to the second tip.
Okay.
And so we're kind of approaching the epicenter of our episode. So this will be about other skill which comes along during the test, like time management. Okay, what do you think is the most effective skill you use maybe to get better score during the test in terms of time management?
Time management, right?
Yeah.
In listening, there is no time management, but with reading, yes, it is a time management, and a lot of people struggle with time management. And the best way to overcome this barrier is to get used to with question types, because some question types don't require a lot of time, so that you can spend a little time and just get the correct answer. But for like a specific questions, for example, multiple choice in passage 3, for example, especially passage 3, they're going to take a lot of time, and then you need to read every single detail to get a perfect 9. So my like a tip would be that, like try to first like improve your comprehension. After you get better at comprehension, try to work on like a specific question types, because like for example, gap filling wouldn't like take a lot of time, like wouldn't take as much as time as multiple choice.
Okay, thank you very much. And what about writing? So a lot of candidates are actually worried how to spend their time efficiently during the writing. So what would be your advice
for writing?
Yes.
Okay, so first advice is just like try to read more, because writing can be improved by reading, because the more you read, the better ideas you come up and the better vocabulary you have. And then so that's why I would say that just try to read as much as you can on different topics. It's going to give you ideas, because a lot of people struggle with ideas, and if you don't know what you're going to write, then it's going to take a lot of time. So to solve this issue, that we should focus on reading more often than writing, it would be better. And then like we should like write on different topics. For example, we should write on education, sport, crime, because they're the most common topics in IELTS tests, and there is a higher chance that you may end up with these question types. If you practice them in a class by yourself, then during the test you may have the same question type, and then you may become lucky.
Okay, so by the way, I have one more question about, so a lot of students ask me questions about how to approach, for example, which task to write first, like task 1 or task 2. So can you give me the golden tip about that?
Yeah, the golden tip is start with task 2. Okay, like because like if you don't write conclusion in task 2, your task achievement is going to drop dramatically. So like, but if you don't write body 2, then nothing bad. Your score is going to downgrade, but it's not going to have that big influence on your task. So if you start with task 2, you can finish it, and then task 2 gives you 70% of your writing score. So that focusing on task 2 would be way better than focusing on task 1. It's okay if you cannot write like if you have a problem with time management, and if you cannot finish body 2 in writing task 1, it's okay, because you're gonna get 5.5 or 6, and you may even get a 7. But if you don't write conclusion in task 2, it's going to be really bad for your outcome.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to our last tip, which is all about speaking. So tell me the best strategy how to pass the exam with flying colors, and get a highest score that you have ever admired. So what do you think? What should candidates do to get prepared for the test?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, and I have had a lot of struggle with speaking, and to record, I would say that my first speaking score was 5.5, and then I was really disappointed at myself for getting 5.5, and speaking is really hard, we need to say that. But daily practice with your friends, or with other people, that is a good way to improve your fluency. And just I think that you need to work on your mistakes, because some people have problems with vocabulary, some people have problems with pronunciation. They should work on their mistakes, and they should get comfortable with question types, because you may say that I may can come up with natural answers, yes, but parsing questions are going to be really hard for you, that sometimes there's no idea, and then you may end up getting lower score. So get familiar with all question types that can appear on your test, and then you have a higher chance to ace your test.
Okay, and one thing which is very connected to this, and I would like to mention, is criteria. So candidates should work with criteria all the time, because band descriptors will explain you how you should act during the exam. What do you think the significance of this approach? Just should candidates work with band descriptors or criteria mostly to perform better during the test?
Yes, but it's not the most important thing, I think, because if you have very, very good speaking and know how to answer part 1, part 2, part 3 questions, then you don't have to get into detail of all things. For good score, just you need to have good speaking. You don't need to just go in detail and try to learn. And for the record, that it's also public band descriptor. It's not maybe it can be a little bit different.
Yeah. From examiners'
perspective, from examiners' criteria, it's just public criteria. And then if you're not aiming for a 9, or you want to learn, you don't have good speaking. Just try to focus on speaking. Try to be a good speaker. That's enough.
Okay, now, and at the end of our episode, I would like to talk about your own perspectives and what is next. So this question is very kind of interesting and important for me. And what is next for you?
For me next, I have got a couple of plans, and I don't know which one is gonna work. But now I want to upgrade my score, not 9, because 9 isn't necessary. But I will be happy if I can get 8.5 next time, because 8.5 means C2, and there is difference between levels. C1 and C2. I have taken C1 3 times, and now if I get a C2, I would be really glad. I would be really delighted to achieve that score. But I don't know, maybe we will see it. Just now, there are a lot of plans, and one plan related to IELTS is that I just want to maybe take a couple of tests in the future, and then try to achieve C2 level.
Okay, thank you very much. So, in our podcast, we just briefly focused on 3 main tips given by the specialist, covering all the areas which are very necessary and essential, about the IELTS test. So, and if you would like to join our learning center in the part of our kind of learning, students enrollment, so you can actually follow our channel in. So yes, thank you very much for coming and for your precious time. Okay, this is our first episode, and if you want to get such tips constantly, so follow our channel and stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching.